Welcome back to another LinkedIn ads video. Today we're talking about account-based marketing specifically and how we can utilize LinkedIn as an ads platform to push an account-based marketing strategy. So although account-based marketing should be using a lot of different other things, LinkedIn ads are the only platform really that we can use to push an ABM strategy. So this video is going to go over what ABM is and how we can use LinkedIn ads specifically to push such a strategy. Because LinkedIn ads as a platform is pretty much the only platform which can scale your ABM strategy, and we can target by, basically we can upload a list from 300 up to 300,000. But say if you have a list of 1,000 companies, accounts, which you think are the highest value accounts, we can just upload that list of companies and we can layer that on with job title or department. So imagine you have CTOs and tech managers and the tech department generally that you want to target from, and you have a list of 1,000 companies that sales will be going after. Well, we can just be targeting them. We can put content in front of these people so that either we can get the lead, or when sales approach them, they already have some kind of brand recognition. So account-based marketing mixed with LinkedIn advertising is super powerful. So to jump in some stats just really quick, I'm gonna read it from a computer, but 84% of businesses using ABM said the strategy offered them higher ROI. So higher ROI, nearly all of them said the ROI, the return on investment is higher. 91% of companies using ABM increase their average deal size. So this is big. This is really important to increase your average deal size per deal, with 25% reporting an increase of 50%. So if your deal size is 10K, suddenly it jumped up to 15K, which is really huge. This is one of the most important parts of your strategy, is to increase deal sizes. So with ABM, we can achieve that. 70% increase in the number of opportunities created by ABM. All the stats are pointing to ABM being a really powerful strategy. So you don't have to utilize it as your core and only strategy. You could do, some companies are, but it could also be a dual strategy where you're going after the bulk of your market or the segment market with a different strategy, but you're going for the highest value accounts through ABM and LinkedIn ads. So we're targeting the top 1,000 accounts or the top 100 accounts with an ABM strategy, and also utilizing LinkedIn ads to put content in front of them and this kind of stuff. So this is powerful. Stick around. In this video, I'm going to go over what ABM is and how we can utilize it with LinkedIn ads. Before we begin, I just want to quickly tell you about a company I'm starting called B2Bhero.co. It's a media company, so we're going to be releasing a bunch of content from blogs to videos, interviews, and at the core of the whole business is a newsletter. And this newsletter is going to be jam-packed with the most up-to-date stuff, we're trying to be as useful as we can to one ICP, which is B2B SaaS founders or growth marketing teams in SaaS companies, B2B SaaS companies. So if you're a B2B SaaS founder or a B2B growth person and you want to be the smartest marketer in the room, click on the link below, sign up to the newsletter. It's going to be jam-packed with such good information, strategies, news, this kind of stuff. So ABM is basically a sales-led technique for B2B companies, B2B SaaS companies, but B2B companies generally. And it basically puts emphasis on targeting accounts rather than individuals. So we're not talking, when we're doing ABM, we're not saying we're targeting IT directors in a specific industry. We're saying here's 1,000 accounts or 1,000 of the top potential accounts we want to target or companies, and we want to then create a strategy around how to target them. And the reason why this kind of makes sense is because decision making is becoming really, really way more complex, and there's a lot of studies out there. One I was reading recently talking about how decision making now is taking more people to make a buying purchasing decision. So it's gone up, and the average is crazy. It's 7 to 20 people are in buying decisions when they're choosing to pick a software company or to pick whatever kind of purchasing decision they're making. It takes 7 to 20 people to put the thumbs up and go, cool, let's do it. The committee is between 7 to 20 people. So we need to convince way more than just say the IT director to make a decision. We need to convince all the people around him as well to push that. The second reason is that decisions aren't made just by one individual, as mentioned, but also the initiative or the person who really comes initiates the idea to say change their CRM or whatever their decision, use some kind of software, might come from below or might come from above. So the core decision maker could be the IT director, for example, but the manager might be the one who's complaining that something's not working right, or has come up with the idea that if we do X, Y, and Z, it's going to make things much more efficient. Let's tell the IT director about this plan I have, and the IT director will be the one who makes the decision, but the impetus first came from the IT manager. It could also come from the top down, so from the bottom up or from the top down. And what I mean by that, it could be the CEO, or it could be someone, in the executive board, which, has seen something, either an advert from us, or has been reading some articles about some other company doing, utilizing something else, using some kind of software, and how that's beneficial. And then he goes down to the IT director and says, hey, have you considered this? Maybe we should look into this a bit more deeply. So we don't really know where it's coming from. So yeah, the two things are, decision making is way more complex, are taking way more people to make a decision. So we need to target the account and numerous people in that account, not just one individual. And secondly, the impetus to make a decision can come from the bottom up or up down, so those are the two reasons why ABM completely makes sense. ABM is specifically designed for companies which are sales led, so not marketing led. And this is really important, and generally have, sales led companies generally have a high lifetime value or deal size. So the bigger your deal size, the more ABM should work for you. And ABM should be for the, the most valuable accounts. It's like the big accounts. If you're trying to target the, Google, and you want Google as your one of your clients, or a very specific department within Google, you need an account-based marketing strategy around that. You want sales to be targeting them. You want marketing also to be targeting. And the reason why that makes sense is because sales might be like, look, these are the top 500 accounts we want to target. Marketing, could we somehow warm these accounts up before I outreach them, so we can put content in front of them, we can get them as a lead, or basically content is really good just to warm them up to the brand. So when sales does go out to them and reach out to them, the conversation's way more fluid, way more easier, because suddenly there's brand recognition there. So LinkedIn is probably the only platform we can utilize ABM properly. Like, you can't really do it on Facebook or Google, but LinkedIn you can, because LinkedIn has the best information, or one of the best information and data out there on firmographic, as well as what's your job title, what position are you in, what department are you in, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much the only place which has really up to date, really good information about this kind of stuff. So we can literally upload a list of companies into LinkedIn, into the platform, and target just those accounts or just those companies. And then we can layer that on with job title or department or some other layers. So for example, if we want to target IT managers, and we've identified, okay, the IT manager, IT director, and maybe the accounts department who needs to sign off, or the operations guy who needs to sign off, we've identified these are the key people we need to put content in front of, or we need to target these key people because they're going to be part of the decision-making process. We can literally do that with LinkedIn advertising. We upload the account list, and then we target them by job titles, which is super powerful. So let's quickly jump in. I'm going to show you exactly how we can do that in the platform itself. So this is Campaign Manager. This is my dummy account, but basically once you're here, go to your campaign group, go to Account Assets, Match Audiences, and then you can just create, company contact list. You can upload it here. What LinkedIn is what they're suggesting, but I'd actually ignore a lot of these parts of your spreadsheet. You really just need the company website. If you just have a long list of company website, that's all you need. You should, you could add the company name. So this would be like B2B Hero, which is my content company. Then company website is b2bhero.co, for example. And then the rest you don't really need. I wouldn't bother with all the other stuff. It's a lot of work to figure that all out. So if you just have the company name and the company website, then it should match the majority of them. So yeah, that's all you need. You can put it up here, and then it'll be a matched audience. It'll be a list that you've got here. Right, so let's say we want to create a campaign with like targeting that list of companies. So just go into create campaign, select the campaign group, click next. This is really slow. Okay, let's say it's a lead gen campaign, and yeah, let's go down to targeting, the targeting part, which is down here. Loading. And once you are here, you go to the, audiences. So not, most of the time we're going here, but stick around in audiences, go to list upload. So you also upload a contact list, but this is all about company list, and your list should appear here. So you can click on your, the one you just uploaded. If you haven't done that already, you can even just do it directly from here by clicking upload list, and then you can upload the list if you haven't done so already. So this is the simplest way. If you've got a list of like 100,000 companies or 10,000 companies, do it like this. but it's not the most accurate. You're not always, because when LinkedIn goes off to match the audiences, it doesn't tell you which ones it hasn't matched. So it'll come back and say, we've matched 90% or more of your audience, which isn't very helpful at all, because we then don't know, okay, it was a 10% that they didn't match, was it 1%, just 9% or more weren't matched. So we don't know how many were not matched, and we don't know which specific companies were not matched. So that would suck if there was, a few companies there that we've really wanted to target. So what you could actually do, which is more accurate, but it's really time consuming. So if you have under 1,000, maybe do this alternative. So let's go back to the targeting. So when we're targeting, we actually go down here, we go to company, and then we do company names. So this you'd have to type in manually every single company, but at this point you're going to be targeting exactly that company. So let's say we're targeting my agency, Superlumen. Here we are. Superlumen's right there. So you can just click on that. Great. Now I want to target Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola company, 10,000 employees. Cool, I'm going to target Coca-Cola, which is great. So you can do that. And then once we have the list, or, we've typed in every company we want to target, you have to do 300 minimum, but I would recommend like 1,000. LinkedIn also recommends up to 1,000. And your audience size should be at a minimum, I would say like a few thousand, but you should be trying to target like 10,000 people or more to get a really good audience size, in my opinion, and from what I've tested. But then at this point, you can actually layer that on with, for example, job experience, job title. So let's say we just want the CTO, right? So Chief Technology Officer, boom. I mean, this is not big enough because we haven't put enough companies here. But over here, you either have your company list you uploaded, or you've manually put in every single company, and then we've layered that on with job title. And as mentioned before, I would actually not just target if it's CTOs, that's all you want to utilize. Remember, decision making is complex in these big companies. Don't just go for the CTO, go for this, like generally the tech department, or it could be the IT manager, for example, could be a good one to go for. Information technology manager, and then we need to analyze who else is useful, who else is part of this decision making. Is it the ops guy, the operations director, or is it the CEO directly? Is the CEO hands on with this department and making these decisions, or participating in decisions? And as mentioned before, remember, it comes from up, down, and down, up. So it could be the IT manager bringing it up to the IT director, or the CEO, or some other department, the operations director coming to the CTO going, hey, we really need to, I've noticed that we're really inefficient in these departments. Or it could be, the accounts department, someone in there who has to sign it off. So it could be someone like that. So remember, put in more than just one job title. So another thing I'll do is actually layer it on with a department. So we have our, let's pretend there's a mega list here of 1,000 companies, top 1,000 companies you want to work for, the big accounts. So you can do it by job title, but another great one is just literally going for job function, which function is another word for saying a department. So let's say we want to hit the finance department because we have some awesome tech to help the finance department, or it could be HR or IT. So again, going back to the previous, so we're going to hit up the IT department in all of these, in all of these companies. And maybe we don't want to hit up everyone in the IT department, so we can do one more. So let's narrow that down a little bit more. So we've got, this mega list of companies. We want the IT department, but I would definitely this is a really good way of targeting. We've got the IT department, and actually we're going to do it by job seniority. So we're actually layering everyone in the IT department, which is manager or above, because we know already that decision making is complex, comes from up, down, and down, up. So we want everyone above manager level in the information technology. We've already got 1,100 just from Coca-Cola, pretty much. I'm in Superlumen, doesn't really have an IT department. I am the IT department. So there you go. So you have now two ways of targeting with an account-based marketing strategy. We're going to target this list of company and the whole department with a seniority level, or just the job title specific if we're doing that. So I'd actually test both targeting types and just see which one does better.